Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rebecca. I am the owner and creator for RR Crafty Adventures. We are a small business located out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we provide kids and adult aprons that we make with sublimation printing. We also do custom t-shirt orders using DTF, and we also do kids craft kits, so painting kits, coloring kits, and play pretend notepads as well for kids. In this video, I wanted to take a moment to sit down and just chat and tell you all about me and how I created RR Crafty Adventures and just the whole backstory of the business and how it started. Throughout the video, I'm going to put up photos of things that I have, of past events or things that we've done, just to kind of give you some context of what it looked like at that point and how we just build this small business. And when I say we, it's generally me doing the most of the stuff, but I do have an awesome family, a husband that helps me with a lot of things, and parents that help me, especially with taking care of my kids when I have to do some of these events. So I'm very grateful for them and to have that team. But to kind of go over the beginning, to look back at the beginning, I would say that in some ways, this business started when I was in high school. And it's crazy to think about things like that because some of the things you do in high school, you never think you're going to carry along with you later in life. But as I was thinking back on it, I realized that I did do some of these things in high school. And in high school, I took a home ec class where I was doing a lot of sewing. And I did learn to sew from my mom and my grandmother, but I took this class and it really showed me more details of how to do certain things. And because of that class, I wanted to sew a lot of blankets, and I actually sewed a lot of baby blankets, which was really fun. And what I did was I actually opened up a pop-up shop in my parents' house. So we had one day that that I just was working really hard to create a lot of products and have a lot of inventory, and I set it all up in our dining room space and had it as a pop-up sale, and I just told everybody that we knew. So we had some people coming in throughout that day and bought a few things. If I could find photos of that, I will definitely insert them here, but I have been searching and I can't find any pictures. But I would definitely say that that was probably the beginning of this entrepreneurial side of me that thought, I need to have something creative and something to do in a business sense too. But again, when you're in high school, you're not thinking that's going to continue on later on in life. So it is kind of funny to reflect back and to think that I have had a small business since I was in high school. Another thing that I did in high school was I did take a graphic design class that included learning how to screen print. So that was my first time actually screen printing anything. And it was really fun. I remember making quite a few different shirts and different things, but the end of the course, you actually had to develop like a business plan with some of your products. So I did have to do a 3-board display, and I had to come up with a name, and it was Mock Rock Clothing. And when I say that, it was because it was supposed to be all about rock music, and I used a lot of things that reminded me of certain songs. So before I learned about plagiarism, it was song quotes on t-shirts and things like that, and nothing was actually sold. It was just for the purpose of the course. But it gave me a sense of like, what products do you need to put out there? And I would have to ask like my friends, would you buy this? What kind of things do you want on your shirts and things like that? And I had to present it to the class. So again, another time where I was learning how to be a business person and I didn't even realize it. So fast forward many, many years later, after college and working a regular 9-to-5 job and getting married and everything like that, I decided to start doing things that were going to be creative again. I wasn't sure what I wanted to get into, but I knew I needed to do something creative. And I had made a Christmas wreath for us at home, and I really liked it. I really liked the process. I noticed like how many things I could actually make with different parts and to make a cute wreath. So I started making those, and I was selling them to people I know and just creating. And that side of me really came out again. I had just had my son and I just really needed a creative outlet, and making those wreaths really helped scratch that itch. So for that whole holiday season, I made quite a few wreaths, and I actually attended my first craft fair. So it was, I would say craft fair a little loosely, because it was a kids consignment shop that was having craft vendors right outside of their consignment shop. So it was still considered a craft fair because there were quite a few craft artists there. But that was my first taste into being into the craft fair world. And it was a little different because I was doing wreaths, and a lot of people that were coming in were coming to shop for kids' clothes. So I didn't quite do as many sales as, I would expect to do, but for my first event, I was happy if I sold one, and it was such a big learning experience. I started developing what I wanted my booth to look like, and how I wanted to display things, and what things actually sold, and what things are people asking for, and just really learning from that experience. So I should say that all of the wreath making stuff happened at the end of 2020. So things were still very up in the air. We didn't know, are we open? Are we closed? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? So it was a really confusing time. But after I did that sale, the next two that I did actually, which was the end of 2020 in December, was the SoCal Etsy Guild. And that one was in a very busy outdoor mall space in Orange County. And it was really a good experience for me, because that was really the first time I felt like I am in a craft fair. I am doing things. I am making my products. I am selling my products, and I'm just learning so much too. So I remember selling quite a few of the things there, and just like I said, learning so much from those experiences that even though I wasn't selling out everything, I was just figuring out the business side of things, and what things do I need, what things do I don't need, how do I do setups, all of these things. So in that same month for the holidays, my husband actually bought me my very first Cricut maker machine. And let me tell you, that just opened up a can of worms. I'm sure he regrets that sometimes, but I'll know that he also loves it because I get to make things for him as well. But I got my first Cricut machine, and there were so many things that I could do from that. And I knew that I could try doing all these different things. So I wanted to try playing around with everything, seeing what we were going to do. But during that time also, we decided that we were going to move out of California and move to Tennessee. So in early 2021, we moved, and we did the drive across country, and I just put everything kind of on hold so that we could get our life settled into this new town, and just get everything together in our lives. So the business was really on the back burner. I actually got rid of all of the wreaths because I didn't want to take them with me when we moved. So I literally gave them out to every family member who wanted one. So I had no inventory when we actually made the move. So when I started thinking back about what I wanted to do and how I wanted to get into, a creative business again once we were settled into Tennessee, I decided to get into sublimation printing. So I invested in a sublimation printer, and I invested in a little heat press that was like a handheld heat press. And I started just playing around with sublimation. And it was really fun. I learned how to make shirts and a bunch of other little things, and I just really enjoyed that process. And one day my sister actually asked me if I can make aprons, kids' aprons, with their names on it, so that she could give them for holiday gifts to all of her nieces and nephews. And I thought, yeah, that's great. I could absolutely make that. So I mocked it up. I designed everything, mocked it up for her, sent it over. She liked it. And I made them for our nieces and nephews, and she gave them out as Christmas presents. I was so happy to hear that they all loved it. All the kids loved it. My sister loved it. And I decided, why don't I put this on Etsy? So I opened up the Etsy shop, and I started putting up all of the apron designs that I had made. And I just started designing whatever I could. So the one I made for the kids and the one I put on the Etsy shop was the chef apron. It said chef and the kids' names and the utensils coming out of the pockets. And I thought it was really cute. I hadn't seen anything like that online, and I just wanted to see how it would do if we put it out. It was made for the gift for the kids, so I wasn't really losing anything if it didn't sell. I was making it for them, and then if it sold, then great. And it actually took off a little bit, and we got quite a few sales for that holiday season. And I thought, maybe I need to consider this and start making more designs. So I started designing different things for the aprons and just posting different listings as well. So we were selling quite a few aprons. I was doing this again with the sublimation and my handheld heat press. So after, I don't even know, maybe about a year or two of doing that, I decided it was time to invest in a real heat press. So I did so much research and I purchased my heat press, and I feel like that was another thing that just opened up a world of possibilities, because I know that I could do so much more with a large heat press, and I wanted to be able to not only make the aprons but possibly make shirts. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to make shirts that were just general shirts that you could sell, or if I wanted to just do custom order shirts. So I wanted that option of, like, I have a bigger heat press, I could do the things that are selling, and I could also try doing different things as well. And so I got the larger heat press and I made that investment, and it was really hard on our wallets, but I'm so glad we did, because it is a good quality heat press from Heat Press Nation, and I absolutely love it, and I still use it to this day. So at this point, I had been selling the aprons online on Etsy only, and we would have high and low seasons. During the holidays, for the first 2 or 3 years, I would sell hundreds of aprons. I'd just be busy all the time during the holiday season. And then it would dip down, and like after January, it would just be dead. I wouldn't sell anything. It wasn't that bad for me because I do also work a 9-to-5 job. I am a full-time employee and mom, and so just having that side hustle during the holiday season was okay for us. But I was really starting to think of, do I need to scale the business? Do I need to do anything else? So my mom actually has her own business where she makes cards and junk journals, and I'll link her Instagram down below. So she decided to do a craft fair, and she actually let me share a booth with her, because I had never done a craft fair out here. I'd never done a craft fair where I was selling the aprons, and I wasn't sure how that was going to go. So she let me share her booth with her, and I tried selling my aprons for the first time. And it was really fun. I was so glad I was able to do it with her. We were both learning. It was her first time doing the craft fair as well. So I was able to kind of help her out with just how to set it up and how to do the payments and do all that stuff. But it also just gave me an opportunity to put my products out there and see if they would actually sell and if it was a good market for it. After that, I was really thinking about the business and making it into more of a business, putting more effort into it. And so I decided to do another craft fair. And that was Handmade Nashville. The first time we did it, I think I actually shared a booth as well with my mom too. But then later that year, we did I did the holiday one in November as my first solo booth, where I had the entire 10x10 booth space. And it did well. I was really excited about how it did, and it just really got me excited to move forward with the business and just do more. And that's really what I've been doing. I've just been looking into, how can we grow the business? What are other products that I could sell? And during the last year or so, I've been making the craft kits for kids and making the play pretend notepads, and just thinking of what other products can we add to our list. Some things I'm adding on Etsy, some things I'm just selling in person for right now until I kind of see what the right market is. I've learned that Etsy can be very up and down. Right now it is very, very down. The traffic and sales have gone down so much on the Etsy site. And I don't know if that's just in general or if that's just my products. But I have thought about what to do next because of it, because I do want to sell my products. I have a lot of inventory ready to go. I just need the outlet to do it. So I'm looking at different outlets that we could do that. Is it more craft fairs? Is it creating a website? Is it, selling into our stuff to other boutiques and just getting our stuff into stores, different options like that. That's really the direction that we're heading right now. And of course, just showing up on social media. I've never really been good at doing so many videos for the business page and just putting out content as far as like how we're doing it, what we're doing. Whenever I can, I will try to post things on Instagram. But I really challenged myself this year to start this YouTube channel and just share my experience of being a business owner and the craft fairs that I'm doing. What I noticed when I was searching for different fairs to participate in, I was doing a lot of research about how much traffic people were getting, how many sales people were getting, what was it like, is it the right crowd, all these things. And I was having a hard time finding things that were so specific to certain events, especially here in Nashville. And I would find a few creators here or there that would really talk about their whole experience and do market vlogs and really show you what it's like to be at that market. And I thought that was just so helpful for creators like me who are small, who don't have that community yet of other vendors, and who just want to know what to get into and where and what are the good spots to go. And a lot of it is just trial and error, but if there are videos out there that kind of show me that stuff, then I really do appreciate it, and I really do like watching those kind of vlogs. So I figured I should just create my own and share my own experience. So one thing about me is that my husband and I do have another YouTube channel where we share our traveling experiences and traveling with kids, doing theme parks, doing cruises, things like that. And we've been doing it for a few years just as a hobby. And I thought, why don't I just start my own YouTube channel for RR Crafty Adventures? I have all of the equipment. I have everything I need to film. I just need to stop and actually do it. So that's why I started the channel. Looking forward into the rest of 2026 into 2027, I really want to try to record more of the process of me doing things for the business. Definitely record more market vlogs. I am looking into markets for the fall and winter seasons because that is really where my products shine and where we get a lot more sales because our products are very gift friendly. And we always get a lot of people coming in our booths during that time. So I really want to focus on market vlogs for that season. And I think for the business in general, we will be just looking into creating our own website finally and expanding our product line. So I will try my best to take you along on this process. And if you stuck this long in this video, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. And if you like videos like this and just more content of a real human, a real small business owner and mom, then be sure to follow us along. It really does help out when you click that follow button and you like the video. So again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.